Prophet Marshall Occurrence, back at it. So this video basically is going to be about the offering. Once again, the offering. My offering just left America, going for Vietnam this morning. I got an offering going out there. We're doing big things. That's why we just can't even worry about nobody over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about nobody in America, gang stalkers or whatever. You know, I got an offering going out to Vietnam, the real Vietnam. You know, even these rappers, they ain't putting no money in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? We doing things that nobody ain't doing. You know, this is spiritual warfare, and they definitely ain't doing no spiritual warfare in Vietnam. So, you know, and I'm not bragging. It's just we got to put things in proper rank, because in their arrogance, man, they think they can see us, and they can't. We don't care about psychological war. You can put any images across our mind, and we not gonna die about that. We're not gonna die inside, and we're not gonna die outside. We're not gonna die inside, or we ain't gonna die outside. Okay, like I made established before. I'm a student of Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu taught in the art of war to not be delicate in your honor. I'm not delicate in my honor, which means whatever crossed my mind, buddy, I want to let y'all little lame people know I can live with that. I can live with anything that crossed my mind. Straight like that. Okay? Straight like that. Okay, and that's how you take your power back, just like that. You don't let people treat you like a boy, like, ooh, I had a wrong thought. So what? We soldiers. We moving on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm not, you know, so I put $4 million in Vietnam. See, that's why the devil is mad. This is $4 million in the church. $4 million in the church, man. It's time, bro. It's time to realize we on a whole nother level. You know, it ain't no time to be just focusing on nobody around us. That's $4 million. $4 million in Vietnam. We winning, man. So that's just basically what it is, man. We winning. We ain't part of no culture. We ain't part of no America or none of that no more. That time is gone. Now we focused on Iran, the wars in the Middle East. We focused on Europe. We focused on all that. So now, $4 million. Let me tell you the exact numbers. $4,738,770. $4.5 million, over $4.5 million. We winning. That money just went out today. So it left America today. So that's where we at. We ain't worried about none of that stuff over there, man. Because see, it's been like that the whole time. They think they can see us. They think they can be us, and they not doing nothing. They sitting around broke listening to music. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's $4 million. $4 million. That's what we talk about. $4 million. What they talking about any money today? They ain't talking about no money today, are they? We talking about $4 million. That's what we talking about. Okay, so you know, that being said, man, it's about to be on. $4 million that's going to Vietnam right now. It's on its way now. It's probably over there now. This morning. So, and update, I also sent a letter to President Maduro in Brooklyn, here in Brooklyn. He's in the detention center here in Brooklyn, and I sent him a letter, and it should get served to him today. So pray about that. You know, I talked to him about the Lord and everything on the letter. So, you know, that's a good thing. You know, I talked to him about the Lord. You know, so, you know, it's just it's just forward movement, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited, man. I can't focus on no distractions. I'm not distracted with petty people and people in America. I'm not distracted. I really am not. We strike right back. They try to curse us. We curse them right back. Because I want you to realize there's a valid curse in the Bible. Can we understand that? There's a valid curse in the Bible. And that's all I'm establishing. There's a difference between curses from witchcraft and curses from the Bible. It's just what level you choose to be on. That's how I put it. What level do you choose to be on? Because I'm gonna use all my arsenal. Some people don't. Some people might say, well, I ain't gonna curse nobody, and but I'm gonna show you the prophet. Elijah. Elijah cursed 42 children, whether we like it or not. Whether you have a preference for it or not, that's up to you. But 2 Kings, the 2nd chapter, 23 through 25 reads, for this is talking about the prophet Elijah when he cursed the children. For there he went to Bethel. As he walked along the road, some boys came out of the city and mocked him. For there he went to Bethel. So hold on, let me get this. For there he went to Bethel. As he walked along the road, some boys came out of the city and mocked him. They said, "Go away, Baldy, go away." Looking back, he saw them and cursed them in the Lord's name. 2 bears came out of the woods and tore 42 of these youths apart. He left that place, went to Mount Carmel, and returned to Samaria. Okay? So there's a valid curse. See, I'm all about maturity. I'm all about the word. That's a valid curse where he cursed children and they died. So this was a curse of misfortune. This when he cursed them, something happened. That's how we know it was a curse. If he cursed them and nothing happened, then you could say, you can be symbolic, like some of these other Christians, these smoothie drinking Christians, where they're symbolic about things. I heard somebody act like, well, he really didn't do it. Like, what you mean he really didn't do it? He cursed them and something happened. Self-explanatory. That's why I have to stay away from certain people, man. That's right there in the Bible. He cursed them and they died. They died, right? Okay, so in the arsenal of the Lord, that's a valid curse. Whether you like it or not, whether it fits your fancy or not, that's a valid curse. That's valid. That was not unholy. That was not evil. That was not witchcraft. They got cursed, and how we know it was a real curse is because something happened. I can see if nothing happened. Then we could debate what that meant. We could debate what the curse was. But when he cursed them and they died, then that was a curse in the context of what we're thinking. So it's like, but it's a curse that's that's preserved for God's kingdom. Okay, so I tell people, I'm not trying to be a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm trying to get my job done. That's it. Trying to be nice. See, that's how you beat the Americans. They worried about being nice. I'm not worried about being nice. I'm not worried about being a nice guy. All I have to be is a righteous person, a good person. That's it. I'm not trying to be a nice guy. Okay, because right here, Elijah wasn't necessarily a nice guy. He cursed the children, right? So if I did that today, what would you say? Boom. That's 7 out. What would you say today if I cursed the children? The prophet Elijah cursed the children. So what would you say if I cursed the children? Oh, that's witchcraft. That's crazy. Oh, well, the prophet Elijah did it. 2 Kings, the 2nd chapter, the 23rd through the 25th verses. Now people say they believe in God. Okay, see, I can show you that it's these famous celebrities and all these people, they don't believe in all the Bible. Okay, so what about this part? You believe in that? That's what I'm talking about. They don't believe in that. So see, that's what separates us from the world, is we believe the whole Bible. We stand on with the whole Bible, not half of the Bible, not the parts of love and kindness and good, but we don't take the other parts, because this is a valid curse. And then you could go by the scripture that says, bless and curse not, right? Okay. But either way it goes, this was a valid curse, right? That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to show you. God allowed it, right? That's all I'm saying. So even though you read that scripture that says bless and curse not, God still allowed the curse, right? That's all I'm saying. So then there's a type of curse that is Elijah didn't bless the children, did he? He could have blessed the children, but did he bless the children? No, he didn't. There's a curse that is reserved for God's people to put out when it's necessary. That's how I feel. And what I base that off of is the word of God. I mean, now in every case, no. So you got to use discernment, because there's always, when it comes to things like this, there's always another scripture that will be the contrast. Well, you can say, well, right here it says this, the opposite of that. But the bottom line, this is a reality, right? Okay, so then well, obviously there's two different outcomes, right? Right. And it's a reality in God's kingdom, right? Right. Okay, so then you have to discern what you're supposed to do. Because I don't believe it's gone because we read a scripture that says bless and curse not. Do you believe the curse is gone because of that? I don't believe that, because it was valid. It was valid, right? Okay, so then if it's valid, then we got to make sure that we understand the context of bless and curse not, that sometimes that don't apply to every situation. I'm not saying bless and curse not is not a valid instruction and teaching, but you have to use discernment and know when to apply it. Okay? You have to know when to apply it. Okay? And that's basically what it is. You have to know when to apply it, and you have to know when to apply the cursings. And for me, I feel like the cursings is valid when people are consistent. If they're consistent against us, see, these kids were consistent even in that moment. They were consistently saying, go away, Baldy, go away, So in that moment, they was consistently, even in that moment, they were consistently against him, chanting against him, talking against him, yelling against him. Consistency is what I look for to curse people. If they are consistent, what you supposed to do? What you supposed to do if they're consistently against you? Stand there. Oh, I see. In America, they think you're supposed to stand there and take it. You're supposed to take this persecution. You're supposed to take this stuff that people are doing and just turn the other cheek. Not in every case. See, now God shows you one of his soldiers that is not taking it. I'm not taking it. I'm too strong to take it. I'm too bold to take it. I'm too much of a soldier to take it. I lived with real military, buddy. I lived with real military. So anything out there is only something I've already been around. That's what you got to understand about me. I don't know about you, but anything out there, I've already been around. I live with a Marine. Okay? I live with a real Marine. Okay? So I lived with somebody that did tours in Vietnam. He did a tour in Vietnam. I lived with somebody that did a tour in Iraq and killed people. So, whatever's out there is probably the equivalent. That's only only a little bit, maybe a little over the equivalent, basically. And so it's nothing out there that strikes terror in my heart. That's what I'm trying to show you. Now, you might have been a bum all your life. Maybe you ain't been around no military. I have. See, I want you to keep that in proper perspective. Not thugs and gangsters, military. I live with military. And who are you to doubt me and you don't know me? That's what the retarded part is. Okay, well, you don't know me. How you know? So who are you to doubt me? I'm telling you what it is. I live with. They show me the pictures and everything. Got the military, the Marine picture. You know what the one where they just looking straight like that. Oh, he got that. He got that plaqued up, right? So I live with military, man. I really have. My father-in-law was in the military. My ex-wife's dad was military. My mother-in-law, her mother was military. So my in-laws are military. Okay, so I could go on and on. Okay, people think you know. One time I said that in one of these stores up here, and this dude was like, "Oh yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah, I've been around military. That's right, because I'm showing you that you're a lower grade and quality of enemy that doesn't strike any fear in my heart, bro. You can't be serious. You can't be, and that goes for anybody out here and around here. Now I see why some military are arrogant, because me personally, I would get respect from. I've already got respect from military as being a soldier. Okay, when somebody that served in the military said I was a soldier, they see me as a soldier. That's it. Not a thug, not a gangster, not the streets. No, military. Which means it has to be something very characteristic about you. About your character. It got to be something about your mentality and your character for them to say that about you. Okay? I do things that command respect from military. I do, like in training for military, they don't even fast. You know how dangerous fasting is if you don't know what you're doing. I always give the story of the man that went on a fast, and then he went and ate KFC and died. Dumb American. He ate KFC and died because he didn't know what he was doing. Okay, so so for me, man, I've done stuff that people can't do. They've died trying to do this. So like for example, in military training, they don't even allow the men to go without eating for like maybe a day or so in the most intense training, whether it's Green Beret or whatever. So when I fast for like 21 days and these retarded people around here act like it's nothing, and I fast for a week, military, Marines, and Navy SEALs don't even go through that. So my point is, military would respect physically my endurance to go without eating for a whole week, while these lames around here take it for granted. That's why I'm leaving. Because I can't no longer be put to the test by these amateurs. They haven't proved any physical endurance. They haven't proved anything physical. I've been in this building alone. I went on the fast for 7 days. You can't do that. Most of these people can't do it. You can't go on a fast for a whole week. Nothing to eat, a whole week. So I do that like with my eyes closed at this point. And I'm not bragging. I'm talking about it in a way of rank, structural rank. That makes sense. Structural rank, where I'm structuring rank, and you just read between the lines. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. I'm putting everything in proper perspective, like I like to say. And these people around here are not doing half the stuff I do. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They don't have that. So I don't let people just waltz into my lane and yell at windows and all of a sudden you're on my level. Oh, it takes more than that, buddy. It takes more than that. And that's what we're going to make very, very clear before we're all done. Before we're all done, we're going to make it very clear that you can't just yell at windows and put me in a little room and run around the room and now you're on my level. You and your kids on my level because you run around rooms. That's what's retarded. No, bro. No. I'm sorry. You're not in these lanes. And I'm the one pointing it out. I'm showing you why. They're not doing what we're doing. They're not fasting for no 7 days. Military don't even do that. You can go in the military and look at Acts. They've never went without 3 weeks without eating. Maybe in the case of being a PWO, prisoner of war, but even though you're a POW, even if you're a POW, you still ain't gonna go 3 weeks without eating. They're gonna make sure you get a little something to eat. Right? Okay, so I've done stuff that even POWs, people in the military, don't do. So if I tell the military personnel, oh, I went 3 weeks without fasting, they're going to find that 3 weeks without eating. Oh, I find that very interesting. Man, that takes endurance. That takes mental strength, endurance, all of that. 3 weeks, no food for 3 weeks. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. Nah, see, I have to remove myself for self-respect reasons, man. That's why I keep saying. I'm too much in the trenches, man. I just sent $4 million to Vietnam. $4 million. And little punks out here can scream around windows and they all of a sudden on my level. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. Unless you're a boss, you don't know. You don't understand. And see, that's what I'm gonna do a video on. If you're not a boss, you don't understand about removing yourself when you outrank people. Like it's a lost cause. I don't get nothing from it. If I beat you again and again and again, what do I get? What do I get? Nothing. You say you halfway beat me, the whole world wants to know who you are. I beat you. What I get from it? Nothing. So what would you do? You will remove yourself from that scenario where they get something from it, but you don't. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna sit there and let people play with you. They could get something from it, but you can't. I don't get nothing from it no more. I done milked this situation. I don't get nothing from beating the Freemasons and secret societies no more. I don't get nothing from it. Everybody know I done it over. So then you go tell them I did it today. What they gonna say? Go tell the streets I beat you today, and what they gonna say? Nothing. They gonna say, oh, he been beat them. Most of the people out there gonna say, well, he been beat them. He beat them in California. He beat them in Florida. He beat them he been beat them. He beat them in Charlotte. He beat them everywhere. That's what I'm saying. I beat them city to city. It's a lost cause. I don't get nothing out of it, man. That's when I move on. You know what I'm saying? I don't let people try to come up off of my name. You know what I'm saying? Nah. See, that only a boss understands that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a boss, you understand that people, people try to come up off your name. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to use you to come up off your name and your credibility and try to get a name off of your name. They'll try to get a name off of your name. You got to beware of that. So then sometimes you have to remove yourself because people trying to get a name off of your name. You see what I'm saying? You're in a situation, and if you ain't paying attention, it's people trying to get a name off your name. You might be in the hood, in the neighborhood, and that's all it is. They trying to get a name off your name, and I gotta remove myself. That's what I gotta do. Because if you keep putting people up around me, and people around me, oh, what is the cause of that? You're trying to get a name off of my name. Yeah. See that how that fit? If you keep putting people around me, what are you trying to do as a community, as a secret society, as a witchcraft community, or whatever you are? You're trying to get a name off of my name. That's what you're trying to do. And it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and remove myself. That's all I'm gonna do. I'd rather be on the streets as a bum with my wins, and people know I'm above the streets, even though I'm on the streets. They know I'm above the streets, than be in a room where people think they can see me and they playing a carnival cartoon game. You know what I'm saying? Come on. See, what you need to realize is I'm a wild dog, buddy. I'm a wild man. I've been a wild man for quite some time. That don't mean I lost my mind. That don't mean nothing. I'm a primal, indigenous, wild man. Okay? And I do not conform to these McDonald-eating Americans. I don't conform to these McDonald-eating bastards that's around here eating McDonald's. These McDonald-eating bastards. Yeah. Nah, I'm a wild man. I've been on the streets, buddy. Beware the dog, buddy. I keep trying to tell people. I don't conform. I do not conform anymore. I already been there, done that. I don't conform anymore. I'm a wild man. I'm already in rebellion. I'm already in rebellion. I already rebelled. I'm in a state of rebellion, not as a wicked rebellion. I have rebelled against a system and country and a community that went against me. That's why the rebellion. So that's not a wrong rebellion, for a lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? I am the resistance. These people play with me, and I'm like a Neo and I'm a Morpheus at the same time. In the Matrix. I mean, they keep putting people around me. That's what they was doing in the Matrix. They keep putting people around you, running around and moving around. That's all it is, man. I'm above that, though. I'm above that. I can't do it. I can't. It's not that I can't. I won't do it. I can go on and on and on, but it's a lost cause for me. Once I get an epiphany of who God shows me who I am, why would I sit here and let people think that just coming around me is gonna be on my lane? Think about that. Think about if you was like a boxer, and you can pulverize and beat people up, and these guys on the streets just want to try you because of your reputation, but you don't get nothing out of it. You a heavyweight champion, okay? So am I gonna sit around to some guy sucker punch me but he can't get the wins I get? He can't go fight in the ring like I do. He can't fight all these enemies like I do. See, all these people around me, they can't go through what I've been through. So you see what I'm saying? That's you and your children. They can't go through what I go through. So how you really beat me? See, when you a boss, you have to you got to beat my numbers. You can't beat me physically. I'm a boss. You can't beat a boss physically. You got to go beat all the things I've done. You got to go beat that's for all these people around here in Brooklyn. You got to go beat everything I've done. I don't care about Brooklyn. Because you ain't going to Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles. So that's how I beat Brooklyn. Okay, well, you got to go to LA. You got to go to LA. You got to go to California. You got to go out there and go through all the gang stalking and go through all the foolishness and about to fight people in the streets. And you got to go through all of that in California and come back in one piece. One piece, not 5 pieces. In a closed casket. Nah, not that. You got to come back in one piece, buddy. See, I make it look easy. I make it look so easy to these clowns. They think they don't even think it means nothing because I'm so cool and collected with it. You know what I'm saying? They don't even think it means nothing. I still got a California ID, man. My ID is still California. What that tell you about me, man? You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn ain't gonna, they scared of California. Most of these people over here scared of it. You scared of California. Okay, so then it's a lost cause, man. For me to fight you, it don't mean nothing to me. You gotta beat my numbers. You gotta go out there to California and do that for you to be like me and people to see you like they see me. Think about it. How they gonna see you like me just beating me here? They not gonna see you the same way. They gonna remember all I've done. Now, when you go beat and go all these places, that's what's gonna make people think about compare you to me. Now they gonna say, oh, he went there like that dude. He went there. He went there. He went there. Now they gonna compare you to me. They not gonna compare you and your kids to me because y'all outside yelling around. That's retarded. They not gonna compare them to you and me. And people use kids like a kid can beat you. It's psychological games. Listen, it's what it is. I'm calling it how it is. That's not going to beat me. You got to go. You and your funky kids got to go to California, Florida, and all these other places. And if you don't, you can't see me, bro. You tripping. You must be smoking crack. You must be. I'm sober-minded over here. If you don't go to California, if you don't go, is that even fair to me? Think about it. Is that fair to me? I do all this stuff, but I can just be in one place with them. In one place, they can beat me, but I don't beat them all these other places. You see what I'm saying? Nah. We talking about real men. We ain't talking about boys and girls. That part. We talking about real men. Ain't no man gonna respect you thinking you can get me in a room and put all these people around me and beat me, and I done been to California and beat people over there. I done beat people over there in Florida, all down in Florida with rednecks and everything. I done beat them all. I beat rednecks and everything. You got to do all of that. Go down in the woods in Florida with rednecks and everything. You ain't going to do that. You ain't going to go down in the woods with white people and beat them. Well, they can't even do nothing to you, and they were supposed to. They were supposed to kill you, but they can't kill you. Like, I don't know. Listen, man, I done been through it all, bro. And so I find it very offensive when people think and even insinuate and insult my intelligence, all of it, that you can beat me in one little situation. I can't stomach that. I have to move on. When I feel that's the energy, and I feel like that's the everyday energy, I got to move on. That's why I do it. Because I'm not going to let nobody put me in one little situation and think they can beat all my numbers. See, that's white boy stuff. That's what a white boy would think. Well, I figure it like that. Or you must think like a white boy. A black man gonna see it like, how you gonna beat him and he done did all this other stuff? He got all these other numbers. How you gonna beat him and he got all these other numbers? It doesn't work like that in our world we live in, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's literally, man, people think they come from the same world. No, they don't, because we don't come from the same mentality and world views. Ain't no way in the world you're gonna beat me just standing outside running around with your kids. Come on, man, that's retarded, bro. I do real stuff in the real world. And keep in mind, I got real information over here where your country is marrying children. Now imagine you beating me with that information. Imagine you beat me talking about I'm a pedophile, but you couldn't prove it. But I proved it with you. I proved it that your country, even New York, was marrying children right here in New York. New York was marrying children. The state of New York. You can go look up the history. Go Google it for yourself. The state of New York, the history of New York marrying children. That's what you look up. The history of New York. They talking about our history, right? Okay, so why we can't talk about theirs? They talking about our history. Okay, well, that used to be the past. Well, I can say the same thing for what you talking about. Okay, so we talking about your history. And ain't that only right? Oh, they talking about ours, right? Oh, but we can't talk about theirs. Oh, they can just get rid of it. They can get rid of it and it's over, right? You see what I'm saying? You see the bias. You see the double standard. The double standard is, oh, they can get rid of it. We ain't got to talk about it no more because it's gone. Well, I can say what I did is gone. I can say what I did is gone. What's the difference? So if you talk about my history, I'm talking about yours. See how you can't get away from it? Oh, they thought that if they got rid of it, New York thought if they got rid of it, it'd be over. You thought if you got rid of it, it'd be over, didn't you? Do you feel it's over? You still got the history, don't you? You was marrying children in New York, right? So how New York gonna stand up on me talking about a pedophile? You was marrying children right here in New York. You can't be serious. That's now you see why I'm like this. They a joke, man. You're married. You was marrying children. You're a joke. All these black people didn't even know. You ain't know. Black people didn't even know your country was marrying children. Okay, so then how you gonna come up and stand up on me? Let's clear something up. If you didn't know your country was marrying children, how is you gonna stand up on me talking about a pedophile? Did you know your country? Did you know America was marrying children? You didn't know, right? Okay, so how you gonna stand up on us? I want to hear your logic. I want to hear your logic. I want to hear what you got to say. How you gonna stand up on us and y'all was just marrying children right here in New York? And that's how we won. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you got them kind of numbers and I broke it down to you in plain English, how can you still find yourself to play with me in my lane? You didn't talk about it. You didn't know. Your mama didn't know. Your granddaddy didn't know. Your granddaddy knew about child marriage in America. Your grandmama knew about child marriage in America. No. She remained ignorant like slaves her whole life. She didn't know your country was marrying children. You forced my hand, bro. You forced my hand to show you. If your grandma don't know that you was marrying children in your country, how you think you gonna see eye to eye with me, bro? Your grandma don't know this information. Your mama don't know this information. My mama know this information. My daddy, I educate my daddy, my family know this information. Your mama don't know this information. My mama do. Your daddy don't know this information. My daddy do know. But you can stand up and try to see me. Come on, stop playing, bro. Stop playing, man. Now put yourself in my shoes. Could you digest somebody calling you a pedophile? Could you take that? Could you take that knowing they marrying children in America? Could you take that? Would you take that is the question. Not could you take it. I mean, you could take it because you know what they doing. You know what they doing, so it ain't gonna bother you. You could take it. You could take that, but would you take that? You would take that and they marrying children. You would take that and New York got a whole history of marrying children this whole time, and all these rappers was bobbing their heads all this time. You was bobbing your head all the whole time. While they was marrying children, these New York rappers were bobbing their head, wasn't they? You was bobbing your head the whole time, wasn't you? Yo, through the 90s, you was bobbing your head through the whole 90s. You was bobbing your head through the whole 90s, man. To boom bap. You was bobbing your head to boom bap through the whole 90s. You ain't know nothing about child marriage and you bobbing your head through the 90s. I'm just saying. If I was a pedophile, I wouldn't feel bad about it. Your country marrying children. Listen, man, I'm like an animal with this now. I'm like a wild animal. We can have this conversation. You don't want to have it. Your country marrying children. You think I would care about being a pedophile? I wouldn't care one day. I wouldn't even feel abnormal. You doing it. You got these feelings. Sound like a song, don't it? You got these feelings. You got these feelings, don't you? So why would I feel abnormal? Why would I feel bad about it? See, you used to the old America where we was ignorant of this. Now that we know this, why would I feel bad about that? I'm not saying I think that, but why would I if I did? Now that we update ourselves to the new America or the realized America, why would I feel bad about something that you're doing yourself? Make it make sense, bro. That's the old America where we thought nobody was doing it. Now we know people doing it. Why would I feel bad about doing it? It's just common sense, bro. It's not hard. It's not hard to understand. I promise you. It's not hard to understand. You just in the old America where we was ignorant of it. Now we in the new America where we're aware of it. Why would I feel bad now that we're aware of it? That's all I'm saying. Nobody would feel bad. Your whole country been doing it. So you playing a retarded position now. You playing a retarded position now, bro. It's a retarded position. Your country's marrying children. Okay, so it's like pointing out the obvious in the country. It's like pointing out a drop in the bucket. This is why I rule. Especially when you resist it. I definitely rule over you. If you resist this information, it's more obvious to real men that I rule over you. You know that? The more you resist this, it don't make it better. It don't make it better. No, you think it do, don't you? You think it make it better, don't you? I gotta do this every day because suckers wake up on one like they beat me, like they can compete with me. Like they in my lane, bro. You will feel the same way. Beyonce didn't know about child marriage laws. Jay-Z didn't know about child marriage laws. Ain't none of these people tell you about this. You name them, they didn't tell you. Michael Jordan didn't tell you. You name them. You pick your favorite artist, a rapper or singer or whatever. None of them told you about this. So how would you feel if you the only one? Like it's supposed to be the prophet. I'm the only one talking about this. How would you feel if somebody came up to you talking about pedophile? You would feel like, no, you know what? You just the most ignorant scum on the earth. Don't you know your country marrying children? Why you talking about a pedophile? Listen, buddy, you a programmed culture bot. You a programmed culture bot. You're not even an individual. Like one of your own would say, Elton John, you're a non-entity. You're a non-entity. That's what Elton John called American Idol artists at one time. You're a non-entity, bruh. Well, I think for myself. I think for myself. If you tell me y'all America marrying children, but they out here playing games. They out here using children in psychological games like we stupid. Okay, but it's an insult. You see these numbers I got? You see these numbers? Okay, so how can you bring yourself to put a little girl outside and see what I think about psychological? That's what you're doing right now. Like I'm stupid. Like you forgot that y'all married children this whole time in New York. You got the whole history of it. So I rule. Whether I'm a president or not, I rule over you by information and caliber of information. If you come out here as a collective community and you call me a pedophile and you cause all these problems in the whole country, but I wind up finding out that y'all marrying children, I don't rule over this whole country. You don't get it, do you? Because that's above your caliber. If we was in the ancient times and you ran me around the country like you did, right? And I had information, I found out y'all was marrying children and nobody knew about it, right? They would call me, they would feel it was an omen that I'm a ruler. No, you don't get that. You don't see, no, listen. That's how they did it. They would feel like that's an omen. How did this man know about us marrying children? But we didn't know about it. But then we was running around the whole country playing with the same man. But he's the one that tells us about it. It's an omen. That's what some people say. It's an omen. He's the ruler. He rules over all of us because what can we do from here? We can't say we greater than him. We can't compete with him. He rules. How you going to compete with this guy? Because you're an arrogant culture bot. That's what you are. You're an arrogant culture bot. You're a thought. You're a culture thought. You're a culture thought, ain't you? You're a culture thought, ain't you? You a thought, ain't you? You using your children like thoughts out there with psychological war. Little girls used as thoughts. Well, they used as psychological thoughts. Trying to get psychological thoughts. Psychological thoughts. Trying to get psychological thoughts. Psychological thoughts. Trying to get psychological thoughts. Listen, man, I wake up on one. I can wake up on one if you want to wake up on one. I'm just saying. I'm from the South, big baby. Listen, I got the funk. I can wake up as a black man, beat my chest like a gorilla, and go to war, buddy. Every day. I could be a silverback every day, if that's what you want to do. That's all I'm saying, buddy. I beat my chest in front of your children. I beat my chest in front of your children, buddy. What that means? kids to learn, they don't know what it means, do they? Man, won't you get your children out of harm's way, buddy? That part. Because if you don't think we can do something to your children, you tripping. Well, if you put your children out here playing psychological games like we stupid, what you think we gonna do? We gonna curse your children just like the prophet Elijah. Oh, listen, I don't play no games over here, buddy. That's 7 hours. I don't play no games over here. If you use your children, even a witch would agree with me. I have legal right to curse your children. If you use your children against me, I have legal right spiritually to curse your children, bro. Oh, you thought, because an American thing, well, nothing can happen to the children because they're children. That is what they think. And you know it. They think, well, because they're children, nothing can happen to them. Really? Really? Oh, we don't feel the same way, buddy. We don't share the same temperament. We don't share the same temperament, buddy. No, I don't share the same temperament as you. If you use your children, I'm cursing your children. I'm telling you that. I'm not hiding it at all. Because it's in the Bible. I'm not hiding it at all. Okay? You use your children against me, I'm cursing them. You put them in harm's way. What kind of parent are you to put your children in harm's way? Shame on you, thinking you're a good person, using your children as pedophile bait. You're using your children as pedophile bait, ain't you, buddy? You think you're a good parent. You think you're a number one dad. You number one dad, ain't you? Listen, buddy, you pimping out your children, buddy. You using your children as a thought. And I would never put my children in harm's way to catch some pedophile or somebody I perceive to be a pedophile. No, you're going to have to find a better way, buddy. Oh, you thought you was being heroic, didn't you? You thought you was being heroic, didn't you? You're not being heroic. Listen, buddy, if something happened to that child, you would regret it for the rest of your life, wouldn't you? So why would you put your child in harm's way? Huh? Oh, you thought you was being heroic and you doing, you see that part right there, right? You thought you was helping your country. You thought you was, you had this heroic position of catching a pedophile, didn't you? Listen, you a bum. You a bum. Listen, buddy, I would never put my children in harm's way to catch a pedophile. You see the difference between me and you? Yeah, I got a grown child, by the way. My son is 19 years old. You're dealing with a real papa over here. Yeah, out of my nut sack. I got my son out of my nut sack, buddy. I got a grown son. My son is 19 years old. Okay? So imagine you playing with me and I allow you to play with me and I got a grown son in the world. You feel me? Nah. See, that's how we reason as black people. Ain't no way in the world I got a grown son in the world and you gonna call me a pedophile. Oh, you gonna need to prove that. Because when you know what I can prove, that I've been with a grown woman, obviously. You know, I got a child, I got a son in the world. Do you? Do these gay dudes got a son in the world? You don't, do you? These trannies got a son in the world. You don't, do you? I do. While you questioning my sexuality, I can prove mine with a child. The same thing you're using outside this window. Same thing you're using outside this window. I can prove my sexuality with my son in the world. Oh, what you can do? Oh, you can just dance around and kind of show us what you do. Like dancing, like them trannies dancing in front of the children at the schools. You're going to dance around and show us what you're about. Like them trannies doing reading time at school and dancing around the children, which is suspect for pedophilia. Well, why the trannies going to school and dancing around the children? That's for the gay community. Why the gay community going to these schools and dancing in front of the children, bro? Man, come on, now, Shimon. I can't make this stuff up, bro. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? It's my fault the gay community going to school and dancing around the children. Doing sexual dances. It was a sexual dance. Why are you dancing around children, bro? Bro, a heterosexual man can't make this up, buddy. And these are people talking about pedophiles. Bro, won't you sit your community down from going to the school and dance around the kids? Huh? Oh, a heterosexual man like me, I can't go to dance around no kids. What you think they're going to think? I'm a pedophile, right? I can't dance around children. I can't shake my and shimmy around children. And what they going to think? That part. You see the double standard? Gay people can go and dance around children and nobody don't think nothing. Let you do it. Let you do it. Woman or man, heterosexual, whether you're a man or a woman, let you go dance around. Let a stripper go in and dance around the children. They go. What you think they're gonna say? Oh, that's a suspect for pedophilia. Why she go in there and dance around children? A gay guy does it, and what it mean? What it mean to you? A tranny does it. What it mean? Come on, man. Listen, man. You a joke, don't you see? You ain't even have your best gay people confront that publicly. Y'all should have confronted that publicly. Who confronted it publicly? Elton John didn't say nothing publicly. Not from my knowledge. RuPaul didn't say nothing. Okay, so the gay community did not say nothing about these trannies going to these elementary schools. I think it was elementary. It was elementary what made it so bad. Oh, listen, man. Listen, I can't make this up. Those kids look like elementary kids. It wasn't even high school kids. It definitely wasn't high school kids. Look at that, bro. Wouldn't it make more sense if you went, I'm not saying do it, but wouldn't it make more sense if you went to a high school? How you know it wasn't high school? They was reading a book. You gonna read a book to a high school kid? You gonna read a book to a high school kid, bro? This was elementary, man, I think. It was middle school or elementary. Them gay people came up there reading books and shaking their butt in front of kids. I seen it, man. I seen the footage. Make it make sense, bruh. That's truly make it make sense. Make that make sense where you dance in front of children. But you supposed to be up there reading a book. Make that make sense, bruh. That's a perfect example of not making it make sense. That does not make sense, does it? Well, what the book and dancing, how does it go together? How's it parallel? How's it parallel, buddy? You dancing and reading books? What you trying to get on? You trying to promote yourself? Hey, you know the gay people always trying to promote themselves, ain't they? It's the truth. They always looking for an opportunity, ain't they? You trying to promote yourself and you trying to look for an opportunity, ain't you? Man, listen, bro. Let me tell you something. You should have never came out here playing with me and playing with a prophet, bro. I shred people to pieces, man. You see what I do? How can you even think you can compete with me? That's everybody. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I can beat my chest in front of Donald Trump. Donald Trump was in the White House when y'all passed new child marriage laws. Donald Trump was the president. Yo, I said Donald Trump was the president when y'all passed new child marriage laws. He ain't said nothing about it, not one time. He fixing everything in the world, but he did not fix child marriage laws while he was the president. The first term, he didn't fix it, did he? He ain't do nothing about it. He ain't said nothing publicly about it, has he? That's why he don't like me. You know why he don't like me? You know why Trump don't like me? Because, listen, you can't come back from that, bro. Your first term, you did nothing. You sat there like an old man would, and you like an old man that can't see straight. Like an old man in a lazy boy recliner. Well, what's going on over here? You know how old people say, well, what's going on over here? It's like right across the room, right? Well, what's going on over here? Trump like, what's going on over here? Sitting back in a lazy boy recliner, drinking a Coca-Cola. Trump, like an old man, didn't even know y'all made child marriage laws. He's short-sighted, man. He didn't even see. And listen, what the military gonna say? You can't say nothing. You can't do nothing. Oh, you can't do nothing because under the UCMJ program, which is the age of consent, which determines the age of consent for all military personnel, you got the age of consent at 16 in the military. Oh, you didn't know that? The prophet beats military. You know how I beat you? Bro, under the UCMJ program, which stands for Uniform Code of Military Justice, which determines the age of consent for all military personnel, they put the age of consent at 16 years old, which means all U.S. military personnel can sexually interact with 16-year-old girls and boys. That's all military personnel. It's not illegal to join the military and have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys, because they have their own age of consent for all their military personnel. That's set at 16. I beat military. What else you got? What else you got, buddy? North Carolina, where I come from, I know they ain't talking. They still married children in North Carolina. They still married children in North Carolina. North Carolina talking, Charlotte talking. Charlotte gotta show respect. Well, you was talking about child molesters and whatever, right? Oh, ain't y'all marrying children in Charlotte, in North Carolina? You are. Right now, in 2026, you are. You are. You are. Charlotte marrying children. In North Carolina talking. They still talking. Charlotte still talking. Charlotte, won't y'all stop marrying? Won't North Carolina stop marrying children first before you start talking about pedophiles, buddy? Huh? Oh, I get it. Because I come from North Carolina. You thought you was my match. You thought you was my equal. Well, how? You marrying children, bruh. That's why I was able to come up here and listen. Listen, you see how I got it? You can't come up to New York and do this. You can't come up here and do this. Let's make that clear before I come down there. You can't come up here and do this. Whereas now it's a lost cause. I don't even need to be here no more. I don't need to be here. How am I making it up? How is it wrestling? How is it acting? This is real information. It's real reality. You play with me. I'm the one that's talking about it and nobody else is. That's the reality that I'm talking about. And that's the reality that North Carolina can't do. You can't do that. I did it first. You can't do it. You still got child marriage. That's why you can't really do it. You ain't you still marrying children in North Carolina? North Carolina. North Carolina. Ain't you still marrying children in North Carolina? Yes, you are, aren't you? Now imagine you trying to stand up on me. Imagine all the times you try to stand up on me. This is what makes me, let me help you understand something. This is what makes you immune. This is what makes me immune in this situation. I have immunity. Oh yeah. I have immunity when I'm the only one talking about it, and you talk, and whatever you doing don't mean nothing because y'all marrying children as a community. I have immunity, which means whatever you heard, I have immunity to whatever you heard, buddy. Oh yeah. You see, I'm one of the best now, don't you? Well, that's what I'm supposed to say. If I'm the only one talking about y'all marrying children, I don't got a case against you. I don't got a case against America. When you marrying children, you marrying children now. I tell you one thing, while you question my psychology, I ain't never thought about marrying no children, buddy. But you have. But you have thought about it. What would you do if they questioning your thoughts, but they have thoughts of marrying children? Bro, come on. You know what that means? It's laughable. I'm laughing in your face. I'm laughing in your face, man. Don't you see I'm laughing in your face? I'm laughing in your face. I'm laughing in your face. I have immunity. I have immunity. Yes, that's what, anybody that's high intellect will say, well, he got immunity, bruh. Well, if he did anything, he redeemed himself by talking about child marriage laws. Oh, I didn't redeem myself by exposing America marrying children. I think that's my redemption. You don't see it that way because you're not on my level. You're not my caliber. I need to talk to legends. A legend gonna say, well, you redeemed yourself, buddy. Well, you exposed us for marrying children. They can't come back from that. And whatever you did, buddy, that makes it equal right there. Well, yeah, they marrying children. They can't stand up on you, buddy. That's what a legend gonna say. I'm dealing with amateurs. That's all I'm dealing with. You and your kids is amateurs. I wake up and settle this information, and I rule every day. I rise like the sun every day, bruh. Well, you should. I have to. I mean, people act like they get amnesia every 24/7. I mean, 24-hour period. I gotta show you again every single day why I rule. And you see, it's not fabricated. It ain't no hype on that. No matter what I was doing, even if I was a pedophile, y'all marrying children. How can I lose? How can I lose? Show me how I can lose. I can't lose. How do I lose? Even if I did, even if you found me in that definition and context, you marrying children, bruh. Listen, man, I can't even take credit. God did that. God exposed these people because they was out here. You listen, think about it. It made God, how would you feel seeing these people talking about pedophiles and they marrying children? God showed me. No, hold on. Let me show this. Let me show my servant. Let me show him. God showed me. God showed me, bro. And I just played my position. I talked about this for 3 years. We going on 3 years. Well, no, hold up. 4 years. This made 4 years I've been talking about it. I'm done. I'm almost done with it. I don't know what you gonna do. I'm just saying. It's a lost cause at this point. I just need my money. That's all I want. If you wonder what I want, I want my money. That's all I want. And that's what a real one's supposed to say. Just get my money. That's all I want. But they ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna get the money. They ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna get the money. So you gonna sit up and play ignorant games, and you think we acknowledge that? No, buddy. Oh, you thought because we was in the building you could play a little cartoon goofy game and I wouldn't be in reality. No, I'm in reality, buddy. Just like I'm out there in reality. If you marrying children, you can't stand up on me as a community. I'm sorry, buddy. Most legends gonna say, most of these white boys gonna say, no, you can't marry children talking about pedophiles. Sorry, buddy. It's not. We can take it from anybody else but you. Not you and your mama, and she ain't even know about child marriage. Your grandma don't know about it, do she? She don't. Your aunties, she don't know nothing about it, do she? Stop playing, bro. Stop playing, man. How would you feel? Oh, you wouldn't know. You can't relate, can you? You can't relate nearly to what I'm going through, could you? Nearly, you can't relate nearly, can you? Nearly, you can't relate, can you? Well, the whole hip-hop community didn't say nothing about child marriage the whole time. Wu-Tang did. Hey, Wu-Tang say they for the kids, right? Well, why Wu-Tang didn't say nothing about child marriage laws? Wu-Tang didn't say nothing about it, did it? Oh, man, come on. You don't see I'm the best? You don't see that? Wu-Tang didn't even say nothing about this. Oh, Wu-Tang didn't say nothing. RZA didn't say nothing, did he? This is what I'm trying to show you. There's nobody who can compete with the prophet. Okay? Wu-Tang, RZA, Jizza, and whoever else, Jizza and RZA, they ain't say nothing. All you can do is hurl insults, but they ain't say nothing, and I did. I'm the one talked about it. You can get mad all you want to. They say they for the kids, but they ain't say nothing about child marriage laws. So who's more for the kids? Man, stop playing with me, bro. Even your favorite group, even your best group did not say nothing about this, man. That's what makes me rule, whether you like it or not. Man, listen. If anybody was supposed to rule, it was going to be somebody from North Carolina, from the South anyway. From the South, somewhere in the South. It wasn't going to be y'all. Now, y'all too caught up in the obvious things. Let's say that. Y'all too caught up in the obvious things. Chasing money, chasing women, chasing, all these things out here. You ain't got no time to be on these levels, and you know what I'm saying? That's why you ain't know nothing about it. New York was marrying children the whole time, and Wu-Tang sitting up here rapping and bobbing their head through the 90s and didn't say nothing about it. Nobody said nothing about it. So then imagine challenging the man that's talking about it. Now you see what I'm saying? Imagine challenging that guy. That's what I'm saying. You got to be retarded. That's who's retarded. You got to be. You challenging the guy that's talking about child marriage, bro? Make it make sense, man. 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 Married and the damage is done. All these kids got turned out. Well, what you think they were doing? See, that should make you mad, bro. It should make you mad that they got a double standard. It's not that you want to do it, but man, they get to do all this stuff, and you supposed to be you a pure man, and they get to do what they want to do. They get to turn children out and everything, and then turn around and call you a pedophile. You telling me that ain't racism? You telling me that ain't a racial issue? Well, I think so. Well, you can run the black man around, but you as Americans, we know you dominantly white people. You can marry children, but you can call a black guy a pedophile, but you can marry children. So what's a person that marries a child? What is he? Oh, he ain't a pedophile if he marries a child. If he marries a child, what is he? What is he? If he marries a child, sucker. What? Listen, you must be retarded. I'm dead serious. What is he? If he marries, if he marries a child, I'm not saying that we want to do these things, But when you be mad if these people get to turn out these children and you and do all this stuff and you don't get to do you can't do none of that. I'm not saying you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? You mad because this guy doesn't live the same standard. Listen, buddy, let me tell you little lame people something that's out there beeping horns right now. Like you don't think I know the psychological telepathy games you got going. I'm the biggest, buddy. I'm the big dog. Let me tell you something, little punk. Let me tell you something, you little punk. Your country's marrying children, you little punk. You understand me? I'm the real boss, buddy. Not a paper boss. Not a paper tiger. I'm a real tiger, buddy. You want to see if I bite you? You want to see if I bite you? Oh, I bite you. I'm no paper tiger. But you are when it comes to children, ain't you? Well, you're a paper tiger. You're a paper tiger when it comes to children. You're a paper tiger when it comes to children, bro. Well, you marrying children. As Americans, you're a paper tiger when it comes to protecting children, ain't you? Well, you're not protecting them, so you're a paper tiger when it comes to protecting them, aren't you? Can't be serious. You can't be serious. I rule. I told you, little busters. I rule. I'm a real sensei. I'm a real sensei, man. This is the real thing. You can't make this up. Real senseis have real information. I ain't never met a sensei that I respected that didn't have philosophy and information. You hate it when a man can live another standard than you. He can go out there and turn out these children, and what we can do? If we have a bad thought, if we just think about a child, he act like he got. You see that part? You see what I'm talking about? But then he marrying children over there. You don't see a problem with that? I do. Oh, you don't see a problem with that? That's not a problem to you. So I'm guessing that's not a problem to you. By the looks of it, it's not a problem to you, is it? Well, you don't seem to be upset about it. You don't seem to feel no type of way about it, do you? You ain't got the same energy with them that you have with me, do you? No, you don't, do you? You don't. Listen, you couldn't even prove nothing about me. I can prove that they marrying children in your country. Right here in your country. I can prove it. Can you prove what you heard about me? You can't prove it, can you? That's what I'm talking about, buddy. That's all I'm saying. I can break this down so good like the phone. Man, listen, buddy. Listen. Ain't no way in the world, if you ain't retarded, that you gonna be playing with me. And you should be scared. Yes, you should. The person that's talking about child marriage, you gonna play with him? I'm talking about as far as karma. I'm talking about karma. I'm not talking about me, what I'll do to you. I'm talking about being scared because of karma. Woo. I'm talking about being scared because of karma. I ain't talking about being scared because of me. I see it. That's because I come from the South. We believe in karma, bro. We believe you gonna reap what you sow. You gonna reap. If you playing around, man, I promise you, man, something gonna happen to you. It might not be today, but it's gonna happen. Ain't no way in the world you can play with somebody. And he talking about y'all marrying children, but you ignore that and still try him. You ignore that and still try him. That's how I feel. That's what I feel you're doing. You ignoring what I'm telling you. But then you're going to still try me later, right? Later on tonight, you're going to try me, ain't you? You don't feel like this is a race war? I do. This is a race war. Charles Manson was right. I don't agree with Charles Manson, that crazy dude with the swastika in the middle of his forehead. But he was right. It's a race war. Because when you can marry children, he said in what Charles Manson believed was that in the end of the world was going to end by a race war. That's what he believed. But you kind of got to look at it like, I don't know, man. Because how you going to hold me to a different standard? It's what we talk. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's the elephant in the room. Putting every doo-doo everywhere. That's the elephant in the room, putting doo-doo everywhere. That's the elephant in the room, putting doo-doo everywhere. Bro, how you gonna be marrying children, but you playing with me about my thoughts like you think I'm stupid? But you marrying children. That ain't a race war to you. But you out here, you got formations against me. That's not a race war. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because you can go be a pedophile marrying children, but then you can come over here with the black man, and if he even fart wrong, if he even sneeze wrong, oh, he a pedophile. That's how you got it lined up, don't you? But you marrying children in America. That's a race war, buddy. No, I confronted the issue. You can't talk about what kids. That's what we talking about. See what I'm saying? You can't do nothing, can you? You can't do nothing, can you? You can't do nothing, can you? You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing, can you? If this was chess, you can't do nothing. You can't make another move, can you? Ain't nothing you can do, can you? You can't do nothing else, can you? Bro, you marrying children. Harp down, bro. Harp down with the foolishness. Harp down with the foolishness, sucker. See, this is how you regulate. This is how you know I'm real. Listen, buddy, I make a sucker harp down. Harp down with the foolishness. Y'all marrying children, you harp down with the foolishness. That go for North Carolina, too. Harp down with the foolishness, bruh. You marry children, bruh. In North Carolina, you got laws to marry children. North Carolina got laws to marry children. Listen, bro, who you mad at, me or North Carolina? Sitting up here marrying children, talking about pedophiles. Marrying children, eating chicken, marrying children, eating chicken. Sitting back eating chicken, marrying children. North Carolina, you sitting up there eating chicken and marrying children. Eating chicken, marrying children. You eating chicken, marrying children. Charlotte, won't you sit down somewhere, bro? You the most unsung city in the world. Charlotte look Charlotte look like they got all the potential, but they never fulfill the potential. And that's not the truth. Charlotte is the most unsung city in the whole world. It always looked like it got the potential to do something, but it never do nothing. You go to Charlotte, you'll think, oh, this is a progressive city. The first thing you're going to say is, this is progressive for black people, right? But it never progresses. Oh, how? How does it progress? Oh, they're building buildings. They're forever building, but not building really for black people, are they? No. But they always building something, right? They always building something, but are they really building for black people? I mean, to a certain degree. That's how you got to put it, to a certain degree, right? You can't say really, but to a certain degree, right? Listen, bro, listen. Let me tell you something, Charlotte. Charlotte, you always forever building, but you never fulfilled your potential because you did not submit to Atlanta or New York. That's why you didn't make it. You know why you didn't make it? You know why Charlotte didn't make it? Because you did not submit to Atlanta or New York. No, you didn't. You wanted to do your own thing. I know how these people think in Charlotte. That part. You wanted to do your own thing and couldn't do it. You want to do your own thing and couldn't do it. Charlotte, you know why you never made it? Because you did not submit to New York or you did not submit to Atlanta. You had two choices on the East Coast. You could have submitted to New York. You could have submitted to Atlanta. You got connections now. We talking about in the past. We talking about in the 90s and the 80s. Why you didn't get a record label and everybody else did. Atlanta got major record labels. Why you didn't get one? Because you did not submit to New York or Atlanta. You wanted to compete and say, I want to do my own thing. That's what most of the people down there do. And then you don't believe in dreams like everybody else. You don't go do what it takes to get the dream off the ground. You know, your family going to tell you to make sure you got enough money before you go to New York, right? How you going to ever have enough money before you come up here? You got to come up here and struggle. That's how you got to make it. A charlatan ain't going to do that. Most of them they ain't going to come up here and struggle like you got to. You ain't gonna never have enough money to come to New York. Not, especially not now. You gotta come up here and struggle and get a job and go and do like everybody else. And get in and figure things out. You ain't gonna never have, a whole bunch of cash and then now I can go to New York. That never happens. That day never comes. And then even if you do that, I guarantee you that money ain't gonna be enough for what? Up here. And that's even back in the day. It probably wasn't. It's never gonna be enough. The money you probably estimate, I guarantee you it ain't gonna be enough. It's not. So what you gotta do? You gotta come up here and struggle. Look at the movies. Look how it always is. You gotta come up here, get you a gig, start working, get you a little apartment, a little studio, and go from there and get opportunities. You ain't gonna come up here with a whole bunch of cash and get a nice little place. See, that's how your family telling you. That's why Charlotte never made it. They plan is you gotta get enough money before you come up here. I'm telling you, like the rest of the big dogs and the legends, it never works like that. You have to come up here and struggle and get you a gig and get you a little studio apartment and go from there. Now that's how your family should tell you. That's how people should tell you. You ain't gonna come up here with a whole bunch of cash and get a little apartment and then have all the rent and then get you a little gig and that's in the movies. It works like that, not in real life. You know how it works in real life? You have to come up here and struggle, bro, and get in when you fit in and like that. Get you a little gig, get you a little studio apartment or whatever, and go from there. And then you can get some opportunities. Then you might get on or whatever. But you can't come up here with a whole bunch of cash and then get you an apartment and then and have it laid out and then and you still got cash in the bank. Man, that rarely happens. That for a white boy, he might inherit some cash from his family. He can go do that. You can't. He can go do that. You can't. You got to come up here and struggle. You black. You ain't gonna have no money. You ain't gonna have no money from your family. Now, a white boy can come up here and do that. Oh, he got about 50K. Well, I came to New York with 50K. Hey, he's sitting back in the apartment talking about it, ain't he? Yeah, my uncle gave me, not even the dad. Yo, my uncle gave me 50K. My uncle gave me 50K. He got the Donald Trump lips, don't he? My uncle gave me 50K. My uncle gave me 50K. Hey, he's sitting back talking to you. There's people in the world smoking a spliff talking about, my uncle gave me 50K. Hey, man, look, man. That only happens in the movies. You got to come up here and struggle. You got to come up here and probably start from a shelter. That's real. And get you a little gig, get you a job, and go from there. I mean, that's real, man. Because we don't got no money as black people to give to our family. I mean, so, you're never going to have enough money to come up here like that. If you got dreams, you gotta come up here and struggle, bro. That's how you need to hear it. See, they don't know. How they going to know to tell you what to do? They going to think everything is expensive. If they live in Charlotte, they ain't never been to New York. That's the only thing they going to think. Oh, everything is expensive. They can't tell you how to get here and do what you got to do. In New York, I should have been told you that, man. You ain't got to be scared of New York. You just got to come up here and struggle, get you a little gig, and get you a little studio apartment, and boom. You know what I'm saying? Get you a little job. Long as you're willing to work, get you a job, get some food stamps meanwhile, get you a little gig. You know, North Carolina people like to work. Get you a job. You like to work, don't you? Get you a job, come up here and work, and boom. Get you a little studio apartment. You're going to be in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't be scared. You're going to be in the hood. You get you a job, get you a little gig, got your little studio apartment, boom. Get you a roommate. You can go look on the internet and get you a little roommate, boom. Do it like that. You can do it like that too. But just thinking about coming up here with a whole bunch of cash, like 50K, it ain't going to happen, bro. I'm telling you. I mean, it can, But it's gonna, you gonna, I promise you, even if you got that much money, bro, some way, it's going to, you're not, that money ain't gonna make sense. I'm telling you. You're gonna be like, what happened? Exactly. You could have 50K and I promise you something happen. I'm telling you. Which means, you know, it's not a certain amount of money. You got to come up here struggling. It's not a certain amount of money that's going to make you successful up here. You got to come up here and struggle and get you a gig and get you an apartment and boom. And it ain't going to ever be a certain amount of money. You're going to be waiting for opportunities. You're going to be working, waiting for opportunities. There ain't going to be no certain amount of money that got you straight and got you good. No, you're going to struggle. See, I can tell you how to do it. Now I know. So if my kid had talent and they want to come to New York, I'm going to say, well, okay, but go on up, just go on up there. But you gotta struggle, get in there and get you a gig and and come up here and get a gig and get money and get a job, whatever, But you ain't gonna never have enough money to just go straight up there. It's never gonna work, man. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna work like that. Dude, you gotta be here to know. You gotta be here to know this. You gotta come up here and struggle and get you a little gig and you know what I'm saying? And get food stamps meanwhile if you can. And your will to survive is gonna kick in and you're gonna make it. It's not that hard. It's just now it's a whole different world, but I'm telling you that's why you didn't make it. Now it's different. Now, it's a lot. I don't know if you should now, but this is why you didn't make it. You waited to have enough money to come to New York. I came up here and got a job and but people will critique why something didn't happen for you. But I had the balls to come up here. I had the balls to come up here, give me a job and everything. People just wait for you to fail anyway because they scared to do the same thing. So it's their energy and aura to try to pull you back. But it's okay because it wasn't my objective to stay up here anyway. Not at this point. I ain't got nothing to prove. I lived in New York. I paid taxes. I worked jobs. I worked real jobs in New York. Real jobs. Made real money. So, not just EBT. Now, if I just came up here and I ain't get no jobs, and I ain't get hired, and every job I got it, I went and got it for myself. Ain't no caseworker helped me get no job. I got all my jobs myself. Old school, making calls and putting in applications. I got my own jobs. I came up here and got every job I ever got, it was my efforts. You know what I'm saying? Humanly speaking. You know what I mean? So, I don't have nothing to prove anymore. You know what I'm saying? If people playing in my face, listen, I lived here in New York long enough to know when it's time to go. Just like a New Yorker would. A New Yorker do the same thing. If you born and raised here, if they playing with you like they was playing with me, what you gonna do? You gonna go down south. You gonna stay here? If you was me, and you was born and raised in New York, but for whatever reason, these politics start playing with you like it is here in New York, you gonna stay here? And you can go down south? No, you ain't gonna stay here, man. It's not that you can't. Why? Why would I? That's what I'm saying. It's a lost cause. I can't tell you why I would stay here. Because I already got my objective done. You know what I'm saying? All we trying to do was to collapse America. We did that. This war in Iran, all of this stuff is not going to get no better. I came here with one objective this time. I wanted to collapse my enemy. To collapse the systems of my enemy. We fasted. We gave offerings. It happened. Now it's a war with Iran. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day. My objective is accomplished. Mission accomplished. I came here with that objective. Now you can know. Since you playing games anyway, why don't we tell the people that's playing games the joke is on them? Well, I came here with that objective. I came to New York solely to collapse this system. And now we got it done. I don't need to be here. My objective is done. It wasn't personal against New York. New York was supposed to help me do what I wanted to do anyway. Yes, I paid taxes. I lived in this country. I'm going to tell you like a white man tell you. I paid taxes in this city by working. I cleaned up after this city by working. Okay, so, you supposed to be helping me do. Once we go to war, you supposed to be helping me. That's how I look at it. But a clown gonna go with it, you know what I'm saying? So, but New York's supposed to help me anyway. I pay taxes. Who cares what New York, North Carolina talking about? I worked here. I had the balls to come here and be with you and clean up after your city, clean up after people. You know what I'm saying? So imagine you not being, imagine you acting like how you know how you are right now. Imagine that. So you supposed to be on my side about things, but that's okay. I like I said, I came here and I utilized this situation because I lived here in New York. Now you know what I'm saying? I can come here, you know what I'm saying? And this situation with the war, I got up on my feet a little bit just to collapse this system, and that's all I want to do. Like Snake from Escape from New York. He came to New York with an objective. You know what I'm saying? I came here like Snake, man, from the Escape from New York movie. I came here like Snake. Man. For real. I was up on the bridge talking about coming to New York. Already had in my mind, once the system comes down, once it gets bad, I'm leaving. That's it. I've been here this whole time. That's facts. This whole time, that was my objective. I came here with no other objective but to get up on my feet a little bit and collapse this community. That's all I wanted to do. So once I seen this war in Iran, this is not a cop-out. Some people make excuses. I don't. I literally, God knows I had that objective. It's a righteous objective. When you played with me and played with my integrity, you just didn't think I could enforce on you. You didn't think I could enforce. You didn't think I could enforce on you, right? Ooh, kind of tongue-tied. You didn't think I could. You didn't think I could enforce on you. That's almost a tongue twister. But I can enforce on you. Now you see I can enforce on you, right? I can enforce on you. You see that? So some people can't enforce. That's the people that get played with. Now you see I can enforce on you, right? And now you fear. Some of you. Because you realize I can enforce on you, right? Right. That's the people fear, the gangsters. A gangster, you can't play with a gangster. You know he can enforce on you. Oh, yo, handle that. I'll give you $100K, take care of that. You know what I'm saying? Put money on your head and it's over with. That's how enforcement goes on the streets, right? People put money on your head and it's over. You understand me? See, I'm not somebody that's one of these okie doke people. That's what I'm trying to show you. When I speak that language, that should tell you just enough right there. Put money on people's head. Somebody put money on your head and it's over. Right? Okay, you gonna fear that guy. You ain't gonna play in his face. I don't care if you think he a pedophile or not. That's why you ain't gonna play with the rich ones. No, you ain't. If you know better, you gonna be with a group. You ain't gonna be by yourself. You gonna come out as a group. You ain't. No. Listen, you're not going to play with somebody that can put money on your head, buddy. You ain't gonna do that. You ain't built like that. I am. I'm built like that. But you not. You ain't gonna play with nobody that can enforce on you and put money on your head, buddy. And you gone. But so my point is, you thought I couldn't enforce on you. That's why you didn't fear me. Now you see I can. I enforce spiritually. The same way as a gangster. If I put money on your head, boom, it's over. Eventually, this is going to collapse. And then as people in the streets respect people, they gonna respect me because you play with me. That's what makes it so beautiful. Ain't no gangster gonna say, well, yo, I don't feel that. No, you gonna feel that. If they play with me and they talking about a pedophile and they marrying children, if I talk to a gangster gonna say, whoa, hold up. They marrying children in America. Hold up, what you talking about? They got laws to marry children. A gangster ain't even gonna believe that. Once I tell him that, and I'm the first person to tell him, he gonna salute me and respect me for the rest of his life. Oh wow, I didn't know they was marrying children here. Yeah. If I tell a gangster that, what you think he gonna do? You think he gonna say, well, let's see what's on your mind? Even though you told me that. Let's see. You think a gangster gonna say that? I'm talking about a real gangster. Cause you know what my definition of a gangster is? My definition of a gangster is a person that has multiple streams of income. Not even killing, shooting people. A gangster is a person that has multiple streams of income. That means you got this business, you got that business, you got this business. Now you might have to enforce for different reasons, right? But that's the byproduct of being a gangster. That's not what a gangster is. A person that strong arms through life however they got to do it. And that might be having 3 streams of income, legal stuff, and then something else a little illegal, something a little funny, a little shaky, right? But the bottom line, a gangster is a mentality of strong arming my way through life and getting my money. That's what a gangster is. What you call a gangster is a gangbanger. A gangbanger and a gangster is not the same thing. A gangbanger is a wild criminal doing random crimes. That's a gangbanger. A gangster is a person that has multiple streams of income. Okay? That's why I never claimed to be a gangster. I'm not a gangster. I don't got no streams, multiple streams of income. I wish I did, like everybody else. But we don't, I don't have streams of income, multiple streams of income, right? But a gangster does. And they have to strong arm sometimes, and that's what you equate to a gangster. Most people, black people do. You just now thinking about the money part, but at first you thought a gangster was somebody come out here shooting people. That ain't a gangster. That's a byproduct of being a gangster. That's what you watching the part, you emulated and you was infatuated with the part where he had the strong arm in the situation. You feel me? But that's not a gangster is a person that's gonna have all these gigs and these sometimes illegal things going on. That's a gangster. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is he a hustler. That's all that it really is. And then, he might have the strong arm in the streets because, things go on in the streets. He gonna be in the streets with some little gigs, some little things going on, different streams of income. And, you're gonna have competition. You're gonna have, that's what a strong arm coming in. That's all it is. But you look at that part, the byproduct of that, and you think that's what a gangster is. Nah, the gangster is the streams of income, all multiple streams of income. That's a gangster. So that's why I never claimed to be one. And if you don't have no multiple streams of income, you are not a gangster. It's depending on who you're talking to. You might be a thug. A thug is what most of these black peoples are. You're not a gangster. You're a thug. A thug is a criminal. A criminal doing random crimes, just looking for crimes to do, hustling. They keep their eyes open to do a crime. Look, that's a real thug. Thug is on the march all the time looking for a crime to do. That's a thug. A thug is always thinking about his next crime as a hustle. Crimes is his hustle. That's a thug. That is his hustle, is crimes. Strong arm crimes. That's a thug. And that's not, gangsters and thugs is not the same thing. Gangbangers either. Those are 3 different things. The word thug came from India. A lot of people don't know that. If you look up the word thug, it did not originate in America. The word thug came from India. And these men in India was called thugs because they used to run in houses and put gold in their mouth, jewelry in their mouth, and run out like animals with gold in their mouth. Like wild animals, like alligators. They would come in the house, they would come to somebody's house, and they would take the jewelry and put it in their mouth, like no matter how dirty it was, they put it in their mouth. They put jewelry in their mouth like animals. That's a thug. That's how they started out. Then the name came over here, through the movies, through the gangster movies, the Italian movies. Yeah, Tony and his thugs down there. That's where America started emulating the term thug from the Italian gangster movies. Yeah, Tony and his thugs down there. You know what I mean? That's where it came from. But originally, the term thug comes from India. Thug. That comes from India. That don't come from America. And they was criminals. They would, like I said, put jewelry in their mouth when they steal something like jewelry in a house, they'll put it in the grits of their teeth and run out with the jewelry hanging out their mouth. And then it's funny how in American culture we start putting gold in our mouth. I mean, but that started out to preserve teeth, as we know. I think, if I'm not mistaken, gold was the way. Initially, putting gold in your mouth was to preserve the teeth, right? It was an attempt to preserve the teeth. But it's just still ironic that people call themselves thugs and they got gold all in their mouth. And originally, the real original thugs were people in India that was running out people's house with gold in their mouth, jewelry in their mouth that they stole. They ran out like that with it in their mouth, like ah. So I'm just educated, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm just not an ignorant person. I just know I just realize everything going on. That's why when you hear me talk, I can talk about everything intelligently. You got people that use the word thug and they don't even know where it come from. They don't know nothing about it. Their whole life they lived and died and didn't even know where it came from. So I think that's sad. You call yourself something and you ain't even realize where it came from or nothing. I don't know, man. That's just that. I just love education. You know what I'm saying? I love being educated. So I'm gonna keep coming back on this, man. Keep coming back on it, man.